Okay, so from the C, as you can see from the C shape, we would go to the A shape in the CAGED system because they share the 5. So C shares the 5 with the A shape. Okay, so we could do that, or we can go in fourths. So let's just go in fourths because that way we could kind of move our way along. Actually, it's in fifths. So it goes in fourths this way. It goes in fifths this way. What fifths? The fifth of what? This is the C box here. C cross E cross G, but it's the C-shaped box. The fifth of C is G, and then we go 1, 4, 5 in that box. So fourth of G is C shaped, fifth of G is D shaped. Okay, so we go from G, fifth of G is D. Within that box, the fourth of D is G, and the fifth is A shaped. So let's march along here. We're going to look at the G box now. Now remember, the G box and the C box do not share any notes. On top is the A box, in between the G box and the C box, but the C box and the G box do not share any notes. So we'll move right along up the fretboard here, really. So the C box ends kind of here, and those pentatonics, they really define the box. So this is the C box here. Now there's no note sharing, and we're going to start here with the Lone Wolf 7 in that G box. So they are borderline neighbors, but remember, between each string shape, here's your Lone Wolf 7, 7 root 2, there's bookend isolation. Every shape on the fretboard, every string shape, for instance, the E string shape here is 7 root 2. Okay, let me just get something on my palette here, get my brush wet. Okay, so I take this out, now we're looking at this. We have bookend isolation between each string shape. You see that? There are accidentals between. That's defining. That defines the string shape, and then the middle accidental gives the string shape its label. So, but that's still an accidental there. Okay. So we're in the G string shape now, and the G box starts on with the Lone Wolf 7 there, but this is the whole G box. It's important maybe that we do look at that. We might want to use the G color, which would be like a blue. So here's our G box. It's actually over all the way over here. Okay. Here's our G shape starting here. Now it's over 1 because we have the Lone Wolf 7. Now the Lone Wolf 7 is from the G diatonic, but it's from the D pentatonic. So the fifth shape pentatonic, which would be a G-shaped pentatonic starting on that G, goes 6 root 2 3 5 6 7 2 3 5 6 7 6 root. So that's why the string shape starts over to the right there. This is irrelevant. Everything's irrelevant, right? This is irrelevant with the, it's a TMI right there. It doesn't apply to the G box there that we're looking at. So here's our G box. The whole thing right here is all the G box. Actually, we've got more G box than that. We've got this one more up there. We've got a nice label down here, a label in between. It's still, this is all the G box. So let's look at that. Remember, this is your Lone Wolf 7. Okay, these guys here do not apply to the G box. They apply to the neighboring string shapes. These guys here do not apply to the G box. Same thing to the neighboring string shapes. Now we have only one string shape per line. The G string shape, the fifth of G is D string shape, the fifth of D is A string shape, the fifth of A is E string shape, and as the circle goes around, E goes to C, which is an augmented fifth, and C goes to G again with a regular fifth. Just because E goes to C at the tuning warp, that is not why it's an augmented fifth. Okay, because the same thing exists in the violin and it does not have a tuning warp. So that's just caged. That's the way it works. So just like anything with guitar, the patterns kind of march along. They always move over one fret. That's just the way the scale is built. So it's kind of natural, you know, like a Fibonacci series or something. It's just a natural order of things. It doesn't just stay in one shape. So let's look at it. We're going to do a G shape. We're going to do a S5L pentatonic. Where's the G box again? Here's the C box. We're going to skip the A box and we're going to go to the G box. Okay, like this. That's a pretty lousy G. Actually a G-shaped C. Okay. Or you could play a G-shaped G down here. Okay, but we're talking about this being the C box. Now the G shape. Remember, these are shapes. If they start on the actual G note, making if they start on the G, they start and make the A, the E, the 6 open. 6 is the E is the 6 of G. Man, I'm out of it, but we'll get through this. So we got an S1 G pentatonic here. It's just this. This is all this is. I like to put this, I like to see this here. That's all that is an S1 G pentatonic. I got these silly names, I don't like them, but it had to be different than just this. Why? Because we don't have this guy. That's the difference. And if you put that, it looks kind of wrong. And since we're trying to make these nice pattern looking things where, you know, the S5L, you don't see me fussing about notes in this. It's just an S5L. So what was that S5L now? That's the G pattern. So you know it's going to start on diatonic. It would be and with a G on top. So we got our G on top, but now it's just like this. It's not. Okay, so the S5L pentatonic is going to have a G shape, and then it goes into an S3L. Okay, and then it has a C shaped pentatonic, an S1C pentatonic, and an S1G pentatonic. Okay, so